Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. In the past episode, we discussed the first reconciliation method between the narrations regarding poverty and wealth, which summarized is that not all narrations regarding poverty are using the same meaning or usage of the word poverty. Rather, the narrations that condemn poverty are condemning a certain usage of the word poverty, and the narrations that are praising poverty are praising another usage of the word poverty. Now we reach the second reconciliation method that the author presents. This reconciliation method solves the apparent contradiction between the narrations by saying that the narrations that condemn wealth and praise poverty are targeted towards a certain group of people, and narrations that praise seeking wealth and condemn poverty are targeted towards another group of people. With that, the contradiction between the narrations is lifted, and that's because both groups of narrations are discussing different groups of people. They are discussing the duty of two groups of different people. The narrations that condemn poverty and encourage wealth are targeted for the masses, the laymen, the normal people, and the narrations condemning wealth and encouraging poverty, zuhd, are targeted for the leaders of the ummah. Political leaders, public officials, scholars, preachers, anyone who has any position of guidance and influence, that person is ordered to be among the poor, and for them wealth is condemned. This means that leaders should not make it their main focus to acquire private wealth, and if they do gain wealth, they should be the type of person who quickly spends it in the right places, quickly spends it to benefit the community that they lead. And this is apparent within the narrations of Ahlul Bayt and the history of Ahlul Bayt. Leaders should be living a simple life, while the masses should be encouraged towards wealth, towards seeking wealth. Imam Ali alayhi salam did the same thing. In a beautiful narration, he says, فَوَاللَّهِ مَا كَنَسْتُ مِن دُنْيَاكُمْ تِبْرًا. Imam Ali alayhi salam says regarding this dunya, I swear by God, I have hoarded no gold, stored nothing from its abundance, prepared not even a replacement for my worn out cloak, and owned not a handspan of land from this world. From this world I have taken only my daily sustenance, the bare minimum that I need to survive. And this world, in my eyes, is less worthy than a dried gallnut. This is a true leader. Imam Ali alayhi salam ruled over a large piece of land for roughly 5 years. His government ruled over Iraq, Medina, Mecca, Yemen, Sham, other provinces. Yet after roughly 5 years of ruling these lands, did he come out any wealthier? Did he seek to financially gain from this leadership? Where can you find a leader like Imam Ali alayhi salam? Bring me one leader who didn't try to financially gain after coming into power, after coming into politics. This is the leadership of Imam Ali alayhi salam. A true leader focuses on serving his people. Instead of trying to increase their own wealth, they should spend all their wealth, all their abilities, all their time toward advancing the community that they lead. There's a beautiful narration of Imam Ali alayhi salam which clearly displays this reconciliation method fully. That the masses should be encouraged to seek wealth, while the leaders should try to live like the poor. A person by the name of Ala comes to Imam Ali alayhi salam, and he says, Ashku ilayka akhi Asim ibn Ziyad. Oh Imam Ali alayhi salam, I complain to you about my brother Asim ibn Ziyad. Ala comes to Imam Ali. He tells him, I complain to you that there is a person that has some issues. He is my brother called Asim ibn Zayd. Imam Ali alayhi salam asks, what's the matter with him? He replies that he has put on coarse clothes and he has denounced the world. He's trying to live a life of zuhd. He doesn't seek wealth. He's living in severe state of poverty. He wears thick, rough clothes. He doesn't eat good food. He has denounced this dunya. Imam Ali alayhi salam sent for Asim ibn Ziyad, and when he came, the Imam told him, أَمَا رَحِمْتَ أَهْلَكَ وَوَلَدَكَ? Oh Asim, what, do you not have any mercy on your wife and your children? The Imam began condemning this person. Why are you living in this state of severe poverty? Why are you not looking after yourself, after your family financially? Why are you not providing for your family? Why are you not eating good food? Why aren't you wearing good clothes? Why have you denounced this world and tried to live like a monk. Asim then answers, he says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, هذا أنت في خشونة ملبسك وجشوبة مأكلك. He says, Oh Imam Ali, but you yourself wear rough clothes and you eat coarse food. Why are you condemning me for doing the same? I'm trying to imitate you, O Imam Ali. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, وَيْحَكْ إِنِّي لَسْتُ كَأَنْتِ. Woe to you, I am not like you. Then he says a beautiful line that all leaders should try to implement within their lives. If a person wants to become a successful leader, they cannot do it without implementing the words of Imam Ali alayhi salam. He says, إن الله تعالى فرض على أئمة العدل أن يقدروا أنفسهم بضعفة الناس كي لا يتبيغ بالفقير فقره. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, Woe to you, I am not like you. God has commanded that upright leaders keep themselves at the level of the weakest, so that a poor man's hardship and poverty doesn't push him beyond bounds. Ali alayhi salam says that I'm a leader. I have a different responsibility than you do. You have a responsibility and a duty to provide for your family. You must be a person who seeks wealth. I, as a leader, Allah has commanded leaders to live like the poorest of their community. This report clearly, like we said, separates the duty of rulers from the duty of ordinary people. Ordinary people should seek wealth and prosperity, while leaders should try to live simple lives, giving everything they have and focusing all their abilities and wealth towards the betterment of the community that they govern and lead. Now, why did Allah make it wajib or obligatory for leaders to live simple lives? One, because the leader's sole purpose should be bettering the lives of the people around him, the people that he governs and leads. He shouldn't be focusing on making any personal material gain. The second reason is mentioned within the narration, كَيْ لَا يَتَبَيَّغَ بِالْفَقِيرِ فَقْرُهُ, so that a poor man's hardship and poverty doesn't push him beyond bounds. You see, when a leader lives a life of simplicity and he lives like the poorest of the people, the poor can endure the hardships of hunger and poverty with more patience, because they see that their leader is living close to their own condition. He is one of them. They're poor and so is he. He's living a life of zuhd. He is living a life of hunger and poverty. This gives them comfort. It gives the poorer people within this community and within this society that this leader is leading, it gives them comfort. But when leaders live in luxury, the pain of the poor can boil over. That poverty agitates them more. They see that they are living in a very harsh condition and their leaders are living in total luxury. This pushes the poor over the edge. It can push the poor towards stealing, drugs, mental issues, crimes. And we see that the studies aid this correlation and causation. That's when the gap between the poor and the wealthy becomes too visible, it becomes too painful for them to endure. That poverty stops being silent inside them. It boils over and causes them to commit crimes. In a paper titled Inequality and Violent Crimes, it states that crime rates and inequality are positively correlated within countries. And this correlation reflects causation from inequality to crime rates. The greater the financial inequality is between the poor and the wealthy, the higher crime rates rise. Other studies also state that this income inequality causes anger and resentment to build within the poor. So Islam provides the solution. It says if you want to lead a certain group of people, if you want to lead a certain community, nation, or society, you must try to live like the poorest among them. This will help them through the hardships that they face. Now, Ali alayhi salam, truly in this narration, look at the greatness of this man. He says, أَأَقْنَعُ مِن نَفْسِي بأن يقال هذا أمير المؤمنين ولا أشاركهم في مكاره الدهر أو أكون أسوة لهم في جشوبة العيش. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, shall I be satisfied with myself that people say, this is the commander of the faithful, while I do not share with them, the faithful that I lead, while I do not share with them the hardships of time? Or should I not be an example for them in the roughness of living? As long as they call me the leader of the believers, as long as they call me the president of this nation, as long as they call me a leader within this nation, I have a duty to live through the hardships with them. I shouldn't separate myself from the nation that I am leading. You say you're a leader of this community, live like them. Don't raise yourself above them. Don't live in comfort while the nation that you lead is in poverty and is facing hardships. It's facing hunger. This is the beauty of Islam and the beauty of the rule of Imam Ali alayhi salam. If politicians and leaders implemented a small percentage of what Imam Ali alayhi salam implemented within his government, where would we be right now? Let's state some other narrations that show us this is how the prophets and imams also led. In a narration, one of the Ahlul Bayt is discussing the story of Prophet Sulaiman. The Imam says, if you like, I'll tell you about Prophet Sulaiman. Despite the vastness of his kingdom, he was a leader of a great kingdom. He used to eat barley while he used to feed people al-huwari, which is a more luxurious type of bread. He used to wear rough garments, and when night came, he tied his hands to his neck and stayed in prayer until dawn. Prophet Sulaiman lived wearing rough garments and eating barley, while he made sure that the community he was leading was eating better food. Again, this shows us the reconciliation method that we stated. The narrations that praise wealth are praising wealth for the masses, while the narrations that praise poverty are praising poverty for the leaders. The leaders should be living in a state of poverty or not living a very luxurious life, and the masses should be pushed towards seeking wealth. A leader is only a leader if his entire goal is to strengthen and enrich his community. Any politician, public figure, leader who leads a group of people, and at the end of the day, his net worth increases, and the average net worth of the people he rules hasn't, increased, that person is not a true leader. A true leader works for the benefit of the community. He does not try to benefit from the community for his personal gain. This is the standard Islam places. Look at Rasulullah. He is the leader of the Islamic world. He is one of the most influential people on this planet. Yet look how he led. Look at the state of poverty that he chose to endure. Again, setting a standard that leaders should try to live like the poorest within their community. إن رجلا من الأنصار أهدى إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله صاعا من رطب. A man from the Ansar gifted Rasulullah an amount sa' of fresh dates. The Prophet said to the maid who brought them, go inside the house and see if there is a large bowl or platter and bring it so I could put the dates in that platter and eat the dates. She then went into the house and came back out saying, I didn't find a bowl or a platter so that I can place it under the dates that you want to eat. The Prophet, Rasulullah, the leader of the Islamic nation, one of the most influential leaders of all time, he does not have a bowl or platter within his house. What does Rasulullah do? He swept up a spot of the ground with his cloak and he said, put them here on the bare earth. Rasulullah swept up the ground and the dates were placed on the ground. This is the mentality that creates a leader that establishes a movement like Islam. Another narration discussing how the Prophet lived in a state of poverty, again displaying how leaders should live. A person came and entered where Rasulullah was staying, and they say, I found him in the land of Ibrahim, lying on a woven palm leaf mat. Part of his body was on the dirt, and under his head was a pillow stuffed with palm fiber. Palm fiber is a very rough, cheap material that often the poor sleep on. That palm leaf mat was not able to cover under the whole Prophet. Half of his body was on the dirt. Again, Rasulullah, the most influential leader on this planet, lives like this. He led like this. He wasn't a person that disconnected himself from the poorest within his community and lived a life of luxury. Look at how Fatima al-Zahra lived. Fatima al-Zahra, the daughter of the leader of the Islamic world. She is the wife of Amir al-Mu'mineen, wife of the successor of the Prophet. She's living in the house of the leaders of the Islamic world. Look at how this house of leadership is ready to give up their own comfort for the sake of their community and the nation that they lead, the movement that they lead. The narration says that Salman went and visited 9 of the houses of the Messenger of Allah. Rasulullah had 9 houses. Salman al-Farsi had a need and he went on knocking these doors, but he found nothing within them. He could not fulfill his need, his financial and material need from these houses. As he was turning back, he looked towards the house of Fatima. And he said to himself, إِن يَكُنْ خَيْرٌ فَمِن مَنْزِلِ فَاطِمَةَ بِنْتِ مُحَمَّدٍ. If there is any good to be found, it will be found in the house of Fatima. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us بحق فاطمة الزهراء, for the sake of Fatima al-Zahra, the needs that we have. Salman al-Farisi, look at the iman this man has. He says, إن يكن خير فمن منزل فاطمة بنت محمد. If there is any blessing, if there's any good to be found, if there's any way that my need will be fulfilled, it will be from this house, the house of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam. So he went on and he knocked on the door of Fatima al-Zahra. She answered from behind the door. She said, who is at the door? He told her, I am Salman al-Farisi. She asked, oh Salman, what is it that you wish? He explained his need, and Fatima al-Zahra then behind the door said to Salman, oh Salman, by the one who sent Muhammad with the truth as a prophet, it has been 3 days since we have tasted any food. Indeed, Al-Hasan and Al-Hussein, my sons, have become restless from the intensity of their hunger. However, I do not turn away a good deed when it comes to my door. And she fulfilled Salman's financial need. This is the Ahlul Bayt. Look at how the house that is governing and leading the greatest nation and the greatest movement to ever be established on this earth, look at how they live. For 3 days they haven't tasted food, yet they put everything that they possibly have towards bettering the community, bettering the state of the community. Look at Imam Ali alayhi salam. Look at the moment he got caliphate, the moment that he began his government. Look at what he did. What leader does this? It's narrated that when the leadership was, or caliphate was entrusted to Imam Ali alayhi salam, he summoned some of the ashab, some of the companions. He instructed them saying, gather the people, then see what is in the public treasury and distribute it amongst them equally. Upon inspection, they found that each person's share amounted to 3 dinars. He commanded them to sit and distribute the funds to the people. After giving them these orders, he, Imam Ali alayhi salam, then picked up his basket and his shovel and set off to work at a well known as Bi'rul Malik, or the king's well. This narration is a miracle. Look at Imam Ali alayhi salam. The first thing that he did was distribute everything in the public treasury fairly. Everyone got the same amount. Imam Ali alayhi salam himself, the leader of the Muslim government, got paid the same amount as normal people within the community did. What leader throughout history lives like this? He gets the same amount the normal people, the laymen, the masses get. Imam Ali alayhi salam is teaching the leaders that the public treasury is not personal property. It belongs to the people. Leaders can't treat it like private capital and move it around any way they wish. And we've seen this happen in the modern world. Some rulers or officials take control of the public treasury and they move the money around saying it's for investment or security or national development. But over time, that so-called management for the sake of the nation turns into ownership. I'm not going to name specific countries, but you can easily find cases where leaders and public officials use those same excuses of security and investment and national development to gain control over public funds, and then they embezzled and extorted billions from the country, nation that they were trying to lead and better. Money that was supposed to serve the people ended up becoming their own personal wealth. Imam Ali alayhi salam, though, the first thing that he did was spread the public treasury equally among the people. This money is for the people, it's going to serve the people. Second, the Imam continues the path of self-sufficiency. He went right after he gained caliphate. People, after they gain any sort of leadership, any sort of power, they sit back on their throne and they have servants working for them. Imam Ali alayhi salam, the second that he gains leadership, he went right back to work and gaining his own income. This is a clear and powerful message from Imam Ali alayhi salam. Officials must not become a burden, not even to the extent of their own salary on the community. Rather, they must work to earn their own livelihood through hard work with their own hands. Imam Ali alayhi salam would get an income of a couple dinars from the government that everyone else did, and the rest of his income he would gain through hard work with his own 2 hands. The leader of Iraq, Mecca, Medina, Syria, other provinces, this leader, he would get the same amount of money the rest of the people were getting, the laymen were getting, and he would work with his own 2 hands to gain his income. I mean, imagine if this world applied this teaching. Imagine if leaders lived with this mindset, that they didn't enter leadership to gain money, status, or any personal benefits. They tried to live close to the poorest people under their rule, not above them and separating themselves in luxury. They try to work for their own income. This helps them stay connected to the struggles of the ordinary working people. This would also stop them from becoming financially dependent on powerful groups, parties, or donors that with money influence them. Rather, they earn their own money through labor. A leader like this would be much harder to corrupt, and they would also understand the pain of the people that they are ruling over, because they're not living in a separate world from them in luxury. And that would cause them to work harder for the betterment of the community and nation that they lead. But now we see the total opposite. Officials and leaders are amongst the wealthiest of people. They have completely separated themselves from the working class and the poor people within their nation. They're completely disconnected from the middle and lower class, and they are paid by government salaries, donors, independent parties, and that usually leads to a form of corruption. If we don't wake up and leaders don't try to implement the teachings of Imam Ali alayhi salam, nothing will change. With that, we finish the second reconciliation method between the narrations regarding wealth and poverty. Summarized, this reconciliation is that the narrations that praise wealth and condemn poverty are for the masses. The laymen, should be encouraged to seek wealth and seek prosperity and put aside poverty, while the narrations that encourage poverty and condemn wealth are for the leaders. The leaders of the ummah should not seek wealth. They should seek to live like the poorest of the people that they lead, so that will comfort the poor and they will better understand the hardships of the people that they lead. And with that, the contradiction is lifted, because each group of narrations is discussing the duty of two different groups of people. Join us in the next episode where we discuss the next reconciliation method presented by the author. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.